button, and I'm going to click this button, and we should be live. Hello, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
How's everybody doing?
How y'all doing today? Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube.
Hello, everybody. Right?
American, Ghana, Nigerian, South African, Sweden, Australia.
Yes.
Canada.
And Canada. Yes, let's not forget Canada. Hey, Miss Sharon.
Hey, Sharon, what you doing?
Miss Bethany. So we got
Bethany, how you doing?
We've got the U.S. and we've got Hawaii.
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 That's the kingdom of Hawaii.
Hawaii.
They're in the kingdom of Hawaii, my friend.
Yes. So how is
I think they had a
everybody?
hurricane too.
What's that?
I think they had a hurricane too, buddy.
They did. I
Or
saw
Maui.
Renee post some really ugly pictures. It was crazy. I haven't posted a lot of the pictures from around here yet, but I will. It's just, hey, Renee, nice to see you. Aloha. So happy to see everybody. It feels good to be back. So I apologize if my internet goes in and out. We are unstable at best, but, some internet's better than no internet, right? So, thank you, Miss Bethany. I appreciate that.
Kris, it's great to have you back, man. I don't have to do all the talking now.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. I still have a house full of people, and we still have a lot of conditions that I call storm conditions. But that's okay. We'll get through them.
Yep. Storm conditions looks like a sunny outside, buddy.
Well, it is. But here's the funny part about that is the water doesn't stop rising, and then we also have conditions where we can't leave the county, or other people can't come into the county unless they have registration that says they live here.
Right.
So that's kind of crazy.
Well, that's to provide, that's to keep people safe from looters and things like that.
Yep. Absolutely.
I think there's going to be a lot of construction work caused by this, though.
Probably. Absolutely. I saw several houses, that we're going to have some repair done on. Luckily, just for everybody that's kicking in and stuff. Luckily for us, we didn't have any damage that requires any repairs. Although at one point I felt like the shingles were going to come off, and they were waving in the wind with everybody. But so I don't really know what to tell you about that. There's still stuff
some
going
shadows
on.
walking by.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
There's a mirror.
Sorry about that. It is what it is.
I love it. Hey, guys, you got to remember, we're dadpreneurs. Okay?
Absolutely. Always.
We're out there being normal lives just like everybody else does.
Always.
That's why we work from home.
Yes.
I got kids and dogs biting me and kids yelling at me and running around and all kinds of funny stuff. Kris has got a house full right now.
Yes.
He was we were going to let Kris go ahead and take the day today, but I was like, man, Kris, they miss you. If you're not on there today,
don't y'all listen to that crap. Don't y'all listen to that crap. He said, you know what he said? He said, I'm going to tell him you're sitting there playing in mud puddles, eating crackers, and you didn't want to come.
That's what I'm saying. Because he was eating a damn cracker when I was talking to him. He said they're eating a graham. I think it's a graham cracker. Was that a club cracker or a graham cracker?
It was a graham cracker.
Was it a honey made one?
Yes.
Was it a honey made graham cracker?
Yes.
Those are delicious, aren't they? I love those things. You know what's nice about them? Even if you leave the package open and they go stale, they're still delicious.
Yeah, don't leave the package.
They're just mushy. Yeah, but if you do, they're just delicious still.
Yeah,
it's hard to beat the delicious.
It happens.
It happens. It happens all the time.
It happens. It is good to see everyone else too.
Who doesn't eat the whole package?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do that frequently. I open the package and I think, okay, I'm just going to eat a couple of these, and it's like Lay's, right? You can't eat just one, so then you look up and the whole package is gone.
Yeah.
Oh
Remember when I
well.
had those Doritos Blade chips that
Yes,
that man, they are delicious. The flavor is incredible. They taste really, really good, except they are hot.
hot.
Oh, God, they're hot. They were so hot, I started putting them in the refrigerator to cool them down. Everybody made fun of me. Gloria's like, you know, that's not how that works, right, Joe? I was like, really, Gloria? Yes,
Really?
no.
You really think
But when
so?
they're cold, they're delicious too. I'm
Yes.
telling you.
Well, and here's the thing, you can't not love stuff, and you can't not have them laying out, because what's going to happen for sure. Hey, Paul Everard, it's nice to see you, buddy. Um, what's going to happen for sure is that you're going to take things away from yourself that you really want to have, and that's no fun. So then you don't have the things in your life that you want them to have. So uh, Joe and I have been talking today, trying to catch up on business and some of our new adventures that we're doing. And I got introduced to Ocean Joe, and I've had
He was born yesterday
I've had
online.
5 or 6 meetings today, so it's been crazy in that regard. And just
Yeah.
trying to get back on the horse, in the saddle, so to speak. What's really the biggest challenge right now for us is there are really no grocery stores. There's no normal food, if you will, right? Like, you know how, then this is kind of funny because I went yesterday to 6 grocery stores. All 6 grocery stores were open, and I got 1 or 2 things from each grocery store, right? And I basically spent the entire day in the car running around the grocery stores. But the funny part was is that, and I realized this as I looked up and I looked around the store. I was like, oh my god! But there's my fishy. The funny part to this is
There's
that is they teach us, right, that the healthy part of the store is along the walls, so the outside, right? And every one of these stores was empty on the outside walls. The only thing that was left was in the center. And I'm standing there thinking, none of this stuff is good for me. That's the only thing that kept going through my head. Not that, I don't normally uh, shop those aisles, right, during normal circumstances. But it's funny that in a hurricane, you're thinking, nah, it's not good for me. I'm not going to buy that. I don't get it. If the hurricane doesn't kill you, then the food in the middle of the grocery store will.
now, did you get you one of the delicious Stouffer's lasagnas?
I did.
Or did
I did.
they're delicious.
My
Man,
neighbor,
they're ever been delicious.
my next door neighbor actually runs a grocery store. He's the manager of a grocery store in the next town over. And
Yeah.
fortunately, he's a little bit smarter than the rest of these guys. He was in the military, so they really,
Yeah.
he's pretty prepared kind of guy. And
Right.
so as soon as things started going south, he started pulling things and putting stuff in the sub-zero freezers. So he lost very
Oh, that's
little of his frozen stuff, and
mm,
the things that, because he was only his store was only out of power for 15 hours total. So as soon as the power came back on, he left, braved the high waters, got in his big truck, went down to his store, and started pulling that stuff out of the freezer and putting it back in the respective locations, you know. So he
yeah.
had stuff like ice cream that nobody else had. Yeah.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
they're telling us 2 weeks before we get bread, milk, and eggs.
Really? Wow. Well, tell the kid
Really?
that he can put some water in the cereal. It'll be good.
Well, yeah.
I
So,
told Nixon that the other day, and he liked to come unglued. Could you imagine?
oh my
Yeah.
God. So,
Hey, Jerry, how you doing?
what's really
It's good
funny,
to see you, Jerry.
hey, Terry, what's really funny to me is that that they know it's going to be approximately 2 weeks before we get milk and eggs. Really? So the chickens are going to quit laying and the cows are going to quit milking and, because we had a hurricane.
You know what they need?
They need.
A helicopter.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I thought about you during the hurricane because
There were helicopters?
they had the Coast Guard helicopters in our town, and they
Yeah.
lifted people out, and they also lifted people from one hospital to another hospital because whatever was going on at the hospital they were in wasn't conducive for them or whatever. I don't know, but at any rate, yeah. So we had the helicopters in town, and they were because of course there's very little noise because there's a hurricane, right?
Right.
Yeah, no power.
True, buddy.
The power was the worst thing, you know. And Verizon, don't get me started on Verizon, but they tout themselves as the best in the business, but and then they sent you a text that said we're giving you free data because of the storm, and you couldn't use it because data was out. It was just out. So it's just the funny things. It's the things that you don't really think about, and you don't really. I don't know what the right word is, but you just don't. You just don't usually think about those types of things, and then all of a sudden a storm comes along, and you have to be exposed to all of that stuff. So yeah, the data was out. So when the data went out, I was unable to keep up with everybody. I was unable to keep up with any type of things that were work related. Yeah, it was just crazy. It was just nice. So Joe logged himself off. That's nice. He did that on purpose, y'all, because he's been doing all these shows by himself. He's not fooling anybody. I'm picking. He probably actually really did log himself off by mistake, but it's not that big a deal. I'm not going to keep you guys a great long while. I'm going to say that I missed each and every one of you. I am also going to say that it feels good to be back and see all you guys' smiling faces. The cool thing is that a lot has happened while I was gone, and so there'll be updates coming. There'll be things to do, and there'll be things to talk about in the very near future. So that's a really good thing. Looking forward to that. And yeah, so we're going to do some more cleanup. Funny thing, when there's a hurricane comes, you tend to put everything that might fly away in buildings and things. So that means that my 18 by 34 lanai is empty. And so before we put all of the things back in there, all the furniture and everything that belongs in there back in there, we're actually pressure washing and cleaning and using this time wisely to get ahead of some of the things that we would have to do later in the year anyway. So that's a that's a bonus. Always look for the bright spots, right? Always look for the bright spots. So tonight is Wednesday night. Joe says, "Is there a bridging the gap call?" I am assuming there will be. We will update everyone on that momentarily. I'll get confirmation. In case anyone's wondering what's going on with the call schedule, Brandon Ivy, Mark Januski, Mike Boggs, and myself are working on a new itinerary for calls, and we're also revamping the way the calls are going to be done. And so that's a work in progress. So we just kind of wanted to give everybody a break and go into the new thing without any issues. So I can't speak to a yes or a no on the Bridging the Gap call. What I will say is I will check into it and see if we're going to do it. They don't like me anymore. Who doesn't like you anymore, Joe? So Um, we're basically trying to make this as streamlined as possible with the most pertinent information as possible and be available during the times that would be the most advantageous for people to build their business. So we're going to we're going to be doing that and getting that up and running as soon as we know what that schedule looks like. We'll post that and put it up on the blog. We're also going to be posting it in all the rooms and all the groups and in all the messenger services. So yeah, it looks like we are revamping the KGX, and I think just so everybody understands why we would do such a thing, it's really simple. We've been in pre-launch to this point, and we just wanted to be as available as possible and have as much happening for you guys as we could possibly have. Now, we're about to go into launch, and when we go into launch, I believe that we'll have more of a corporate structure, more of a set in stone kind of structure, and so I think it will be advantageous to everybody. I think they'll actually really like it, and you're going to get the same information. So see, we've had quite a few presenters up to this point, and although everyone used the same PowerPoint, um, maybe the same message wasn't conveyed. I don't know. It doesn't make a great deal of difference about that specific part. What does make a difference is this. We want to make sure that we give the right message to the right people all the time and that it's consistent. And so I believe that will be where we're settling. So I know that Mark and I have our next meeting this coming Sunday in regards to this. So I feel like I'll have more information next week for everybody, and that's a really good thing. So everybody look for that. Let's see what comes out of it. Let's see how we improve, because it's all about improving. I mean, that is really what it's about, is improving what we're doing. So just Joe, so you know, I don't know if you're watching or not, but you struck a pose when you logged yourself out, and you're just kind of sitting there as my co-host, looking at me like, really, Kris? Really? Really? This is what you want to talk about? Really? So it's kind of cool. Additionally, I think that everybody's been watching Krypto. They've seen the bounce. They've seen, all of the all of the talk. What you will want to be doing is making sure that the coins that you're invested in, that you're watching, and that you're utilizing them to the best of your ability. Not only are you utilizing them to the best of your ability, but that you're monetizing and creating a profit for yourself. If you're not monetizing and you're not creating a profit for yourself, you might want to reach out to someone who's been doing it a little bit longer than you have. Maybe get some advice. Maybe figure that out a little bit. We are Joe and I are definitely looking to do some more personal development and business development. Also, we are going to be offering, for those who don't know, we're going to be offering some mentorship as well as some lead generation for everybody. And so everybody that's interested in leads or need people to talk to, we're going to be able to help you with that in the very, very near future, as in like now we can start helping you with that. So if you'd like some really great people to talk to, if you'd like to talk to people that want to be talked to and or that are looking to be talked to, we have a solution for that. With us, it's not really about the problems. It's more about the solutions. And the solutions don't come quite as easy sometimes as the problems present themselves. And so there was a bit of a learning curve. And, we wanted to make sure that before we opened our big fat mouths, I'm raising my hand on that one, that we knew how we could help others, and we knew what to do to help the others. So, with that being said, we're ready, and we're moving forward. And I apologize that I've been gone for so long. Sometimes you just can't stop a storm, regardless of whether you think you can or not. And we couldn't stop the storm. We couldn't stop all the consequences of the storm. What we could do and what we did do was write it out, because of all of you guys, and we thank you for that. All the prayers, all the messages, the emails, the text, the calls, the Facebook messages. It was really very heartwarming that people cared so much, and we appreciate that. And it did help us get through it. It got hairy once or twice. You begin to feel trapped, and that always provokes a response from ourselves. And so I will say that we did have a little bit of that at one point, but for the most part, we were very calm, cool, and collected. We were very, very fortunate. The town that I live in was one of the worst hit. We not only had the hurricane, but we had two tornadoes right behind it. And there are a lot of people out there right now that don't have a home. They don't have a roof. They can't. They don't have a vehicle because it got flooded. So I'm just blessed to report that our damages were nothing compared to other people. And I know that at one point I posted that I gave a live update that we had lost a tree, and I don't remember what else. But at the end of the day, the damage that we incurred because of this force of nature was absolutely nothing in comparison to what a lot of other people received and sustained. And so, again, I'm happy about that. I'm glad that I get to report that. I'm also very blessed that we didn't lose our roof, we didn't lose our shingles, we didn't lose our house, because those were very real possibilities at one point during our experience with Florence, or as everyone liked to call her, Flo. So, um, you know, I want everybody to know that what Joe and I have stepped into on the personal development side and business development side of things is not just a bunch of training, okay? And it is not something that's going to take you months and months to see results from. In fact, it's probably the racetrack. It's probably the speedy way of taking care of this stuff and getting to where you want to go. So that being said, if you're interested in something, if you're looking for the next level to your business, we have that answer, and I think you'll be very, very pleased about it, as well as I think you'll be very happily surprised at how easy it can be. If anybody is out there that specifically has any questions about crypto, about personal development, hey Kris, I'm a blue. Yes, Miss Sharon, you are. You are, and I love your blue. I love your blue. So, this is what I'm going to say. Joe and I were very hesitant, and I'm speaking for Joe because he's not here, but I know that he would want me to really bring this to the forefront. We were very hesitant in getting involved in anything that looked like it was going to be just another education piece. We feel as if, though, we have enough education, right now, and enough things that we have to learn and classes we have to take and all of that stuff. And not that that is a bad thing in any way, shape, or form, but what we were concerned with was helping people make money, putting money in people's pockets. Okay. And that is why we chose the route that we chose. We will be we will be gleefully excited to help you and to show you how to do the money thing. And it's important, anytime you're in business, it's not just about, yes, I'm getting that jetter. It's not just about the learning process, okay? It's also about the applying process and the earning process. And when you go from several weeks of making nothing to suddenly creating financial windfall for yourself and bringing it into the home, no matter how that looks, okay, maybe it's in cryptos, maybe it's in USDs, maybe it's in rubies or yens, whatever. It doesn't really matter what it looks like, as long as it looks like income and it's coming in. Then you have a sense of accomplishment and you have a sense of confidence. And the two things that Joe and I were looking for was confidence, okay, and encouragement. And it just wasn't out there in a lot of the stuff that we were looking at. And we are looking very forward to bringing that to the forefront. Encouragement, accomplishment, receiving of funds. At the end of the day, you can't do anything without that. So I hope that explains that. I had kind of planned on Joe and I segueing into that together and kind of talking about it a little bit together, but as luck would have it, he logged himself out. And once we start these things, just for anybody that doesn't know, you can't restart them or rejoin them. Once you're out, you're out. So that's why I do tell myself constantly, don't touch the keyboard, don't touch the keyboard, don't touch the keyboard, because I will definitely log myself out. So Joe and I are gonna get off of here, and we're really glad to see all of you guys. We're going to jump onto a Zoom and prepare our plan of action, and get people's questions answered. I know that probably each and every one of you have a lot of questions, and that's fine. If you want a private settlement, we can do it. If you don't want a private settlement, that's okay. We can also do it on a live if you like. We can do questions and answers there. And that's really what it's about, is helping others help themselves, and you can't help yourself if you don't know how to help others. So that's kind of where we're at. Go forth and prosper. What? And you charging me 5,000? Oh no! Wait a minute. 500,000. Oh, okay, cool. Hey, can I get in on that action? I want half of that. Joe, hey, I'm your partner. I get 250 of that. So, okay. We love you guys. We really do appreciate your support. We really do appreciate all the things that you guys have helped us get through over the last 4, 5, 6 months, however long it's been. We thank you for the attendance and the love. But most of all, we thank you for the friendship. So we'll be talking to you guys very, very soon. If you're in cryptogenics, check your blogs. I know that there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. And we'll talk to you guys very soon. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. And I'm going to say bye for Joe. Bye, Joe.